Hello, I'm Casimir Yost, and I will be teaching Forecasting Global Trends, Implications for Grand Strategy this fall. I think we all recognize that policymakers have to make decisions based on insufficient information. When President Obama ordered the strike to get bin Laden, he only had roughly 60% of the information that he needed in order to be assured that bin Laden was actually there. The role of analysts is to assist the policymaker in reducing uncertainty, to get as much as possible the information that the policymaker needs, but to do it in a way that is timely and relevant to the decision that has to be made. What an analyst can do, utilizing structured analytic techniques, is to reduce the uncertainty. And that's essentially what this course is about, exposing students, informing students about these techniques to reduce the uncertainty in decision making, not eliminate it, not predict the future, but through assumption checks, through alternative scenarios, through other analytic techniques, help the policymaker come to as wise a decision as can be made in the time available. My former boss, Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, says regularly, and I'm quoting here, "We're facing the most diverse set of threats I've seen in my 50 years in the intelligence business." The world that Director Clapper faces is a world of terrorists, of cyber hackers, of non-proliferation challenges. It's a world filled with threats. But there are as well larger forces operating in the world today. Are we facing a weak China? Are we facing a strong China? What's happening as a result of climate change? How do we explain these massive refugee flows that are occurring in the world today? A lot of variables to consider as one thinks about the future, but putting these variables together into a picture of possibilities, sometimes evidence-based, sometimes possibility-based, is the task of the analyst. So whether you intend to become an analyst or a policymaker, or segue from one or the other, whether you're going into government service or you're going into the NGO world or into the corporate sector, you're going to be tasked with thinking about the future. And this course is designed to provide you with the techniques and the wherewithal, if you will, to be successful.
Okay.
I graduated from the MSFS program roughly 40 years ago. And in the intervening period, I've worked in the for-profit sector, in the non-profit sector, in public service, and here at Georgetown in the academy. When I worked for Citibank in Saudi Arabia in the 1970s, I was asked to write the bank's first political elite analysis of the ruling family in that country, projecting how that family would operate during the years ahead. When I worked in the U.S. Senate, my boss would ask me regularly about where is the Soviet Union headed, where is the Middle East headed. When I worked for the Asia Foundation in San Francisco in the early 1990s, we were speculating then, post-Tiananmen, where China was headed. Was it going to be a consequential power on the world scene? And then when I came to Georgetown to run the Institute for the Study of Diplomacy, my colleague, also an MSFS professor, Chet Crocker, and I ran something called the Schlesinger Working Group on Strategic Surprise. Out of all of those experiences, I drew on all of those experiences when the Director of National Intelligence, Dennis Blair, asked me to run the Strategic Futures Group at the National Intelligence Council, where I was tasked and for 4 years worked on anticipating challenges to the United States that could evolve over the coming years and decades. So my entire career, in effect, has been focused on thinking out 6 months, a year, 10 years, or even more. This is a seminar. There will be 16 or 17 of us in the classroom. By definition, we all have to learn from each other. You should expect that I will be looking to everyone in the class to participate in the discussion and to contribute to the discussion. But your big deliverable at the end of the semester will be what is called in the intelligence community a national intelligence estimate. You will be divided, the class will be divided into 4 teams working on 4 different countries, China, Russia, Turkey, and India. And you will be asked to prepare a 3 to 5 year projection on where that country is headed, your country is headed. In order to get to that estimate, which has to be produced by the end of the semester, you will be talking to experts. I'll bring in former colleagues from the intelligence community to speak with you to help you put together a national intelligence estimate. And you will have an opportunity to show your preliminary findings to your colleagues in what is called a peer review, and everyone will contribute to and comment on everyone else's papers, so we'll all learn from each other. And then as you get close to your final product, you will ask outside reviewers to take a look at it and offer comments. We are trying, obviously, using unclassified sources to approximate what an estimate looks like. But in the process, you will learn how the intelligence community engages in structured analytic work. And that, in turn, will help you in whatever career you go, whether in government or in business or in the NGO sector. It will help you to understand how to think systematically about future possibilities. So, as you know, I am a fellow at the Institute for the Study of Diplomacy, which I used to direct, and now continue to have an office. So I am located just off of the Georgetown campus, and I look forward to speaking with you directly. But you can reach me via my Georgetown email address, yostc@georgetown.edu. And I welcome any questions you have about the course, and in my plans for the course, or indeed a broader conversation about where you were headed academically and beyond. I should add in closing that one of my great pleasures in going back into government in 2009 was to run into former students scattered all over the U.S. government, in the State Department, in the White House, in the Defense Department, in the intelligence community. And so I look forward to adding another group of students to my Rolodex of students who are working as practitioners, not just in this town, but around the world.